So this week's album review is a little bit different, but I think you're going to like it. Harry Gore, Emmanuel Labors, today on Tofer's Tunes. So there are two things. I want to start off with right off the bat. First, yes, this album is different than what I've usually reviewed. And it's different enough that when I was listening to it at work, my coworkers actually asked or commented, hey, what are you listening to? Or, this isn't your normal stuff. Second thing is I kind of cheated a little on this in that I've actually seen Harry Gore perform live a couple of times. Now, I saw him do a worship set, and I've seen him play with other bands. But as far as, doing a live show, by himself, I can't remember if I've ever actually seen him do that. But I've talked to him. And I know that he's in a great place where the passion for what he does and his passion for Christ come together. So I'm going to get into the album, but bear in mind it's not, my normal album review, and I'll try to explain why as we go. This album is Emmanuel Labors, and I really didn't look into it before I picked it up. It has 24 songs on it. And I'm listening to it, and it has kind of a rock blues feel to it, One of the songs which I kind of liked was called the No Adultery Blues, And you can get the feel, on a lot of the songs, that he has a passion for God and the Word. Now, he doesn't usually, come out front and say it unless you talk to him. But the first song title, the first song of the album has a chorus that goes, "There's a dove with healing in its wings, wanting to sit on your shoulder." And there are some really good, really, deep lyrics. There are also some things like the song "Praying for Madonna," which I kind of laughed at, but kind of made you think, are we praying, for people like Madonna or Miley Cyrus, who have gone off the path. I got a lot out of this record, just because I can relate to some of his songs, some of the topics he talks to, and he does talk a little bit about relationships. One of his songs is, I think it's "Settle for One," and it talks about how, we should have this desire to settle for one girl, not two or four. Just, we should want one girl. And being a single-ish guy, I can relate to that. And another song I thought was funny that would make you think is, I have a big problem with the devil. And it talks about how as Christians we should have a big problem with the devil. And even as non-Christians, it's just as non-Christians we don't know we have a problem with the devil. And I kind of used an analogy earlier, but, yes, it's kind of bluesy and rocky, but it's in that place where some of the stuff is kind of makes you want to smile, but on the same step, it's serious. And, his passion for what he does in God definitely comes through in this. And I think this is probably, I might be wrong on this, but I just got the feel that this is probably one of the best of Harry Gore albums, which I would totally agree with. This is probably some of his best work. So what am I going to give this album? I mean, with it being so different than what I usually listen to, what am I going to do? I think I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Why? Because like I said, his passion for God and what he does is there. And the music, the instruments are pretty cool, blend pretty well. Lyrically, man, lyrically, I love this album. Lyrically, this album was the bomb. So, if you're in the mood for something a little bit, more smooth, if you're in the mood for something that probably doesn't have, distorted guitars or growling vocals, if you want something that will make you feel, good and just kind of mellow, get this album. Go get this album. And as somebody once said, let's make this guy famous. Hashtag Harry Gore. Next week, I'm going to have a new band, but I don't know what I'm going to do. A couple of the bands, that I still have to check out have 2 albums that I need to listen to, so I don't know if I'm going to try to listen to both the albums and then bring them to you, or just listen to one album one week and then do the next week, both by the same band. If you guys have any thoughts or feedback on that, feel free to hit me up. Peace.